News with Gina.
The News with Gina Grad.
Fitz Dog, I should say, is going to be at the Hollywood Improv this Saturday with doing a St. Patty's Day show. Bill Burr's going to be there. Moshe Kasher's going to be there. Mike Gibbons going to be there. Gibby, I think, as we know him. He's got a nickname, too. And coming up, Phoenix, Copper Blues Live, March 19th through the 21st. And then, then in Boston, Laugh Boston, April 2nd through the 4th. And then New York, Malloy College in Rockville Center, and that'll be May 2nd. So you can just go to his website, fitzdog.com, for any info. Real quick, we have the mashup between my mom, who's the least dynamic person in the world, and Brian Whitman.
Backsack.
On the radio. And we'll give it a try. Dawson will go first.
With the hitman on the morning, bringing the hits and hitting them hard.
How should I know?
That I happen to be personal friends with Shotgun Tom Kelly.
How would I know that?
Bridgeport.
How should I know?
No rap. No
How
rap.
should I know?
No hard stuff and no sleepy elevator music.
How should I know?
Spinning tunes nonstop, back to back on a 2 for Tuesday.
How can you possibly expect me to answer that?
The clown. Do we have? Let me hear of him in him working Florida or Dade County or Miami, Palm Beach. I don't. It makes me laugh every single time.
This is a real guy.
Well, he's
the
doing
reason I
he's
come
doing
here is to
stand-up.
inspire people having a tough time getting out of bed in the morning. And if you think I am intimidated by your midday television Miami Emmy, I work in South Florida. I worked at number 1 Y100, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, in the Palm Beach.
We laugh every time. That's Whitman doing that character in the morning zoo.
Yep.
All right, so we got the news with Fitz Dog.
Yeah, and let's just hit Corona, hit it hard, and move on with our lives. So the entire country of Italy is on lockdown after the number of coronavirus cases there increased dramatically, making it the most infected country outside China. So on Monday, Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte said that citizens should not travel except for work or emergencies, all public gatherings, sports events suspended. The plan designed to protect those most susceptible to the virus will go into effect this week and continue through April 3rd. Meanwhile, St. Patrick's Day being affected over here. In
Dublin, in Italy, are they still going to continually touch each other's faces nonstop?
Yeah, that's how you say hello.
Yeah,
yeah. How's that going to stop?
It's going to go away.
It's in the DNA,
right?
Are you guys still shaking hands?
I'm shaking hands anyway.
Yeah. Come on, give it to me. Give me the fucking thing.
I don't care.
Officials in Dublin, Ireland, canceled their big St. Patty's Day parade. Now they have 24 cases.
I had a hand. As you guys, I told you guys, I had a hand procedure where my hand was in great pain, and I still shook everyone's hand after all the shows.
That's
in
right.
Indy, so
That's
I'm
heroic.
committed to shaking hands.
I had gonorrhea in 11th grade. I kept fucking. I didn't care.
Yeah, you kept fucking.
I kept fucking.
That's right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Two heroes.
Yeah.
Do what you do.
Yeah. Don't change your life. San
Players gotta
Francisco,
play.
that's right. San Francisco, Boston announced they're canceling their St. Patrick's Day parades. There's talk of Coachella and Stagecoach, two giant mega musical festivals out here in California, being postponed to October. That's not official, but that is the rumor that they're trying to get a hold of all the reps for all the musicians and see if they can change it to October. And finally, Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, and now Dr. Phil, all going to be taped without an audience for the time being. Now, Jeopardy,
Jeopardy doesn't matter.
I think they're just doing that.
Well, Jeopardy makes sense. Alex Trebek has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He shouldn't be coughed around.
At the same time, aside from the intros and the outros, that audience is not even there. They're just answering questions. Ding.
Maybe a hello to your wife in the audience real quick.
I had heard, and it's an interesting way to measure this, that the way these viruses go is they keep adding victims of people that come down with the virus, and then at some point they check and less people have it each day. So at some point in your nation, 1,000 people are infected, and then 2,000, and then 10,000, and then at some point it's 8,000 and 7,000, and it starts turning, it starts going the other direction.
Okay.
And I think in a few places it's doing that. It's cycling. Starts going down the backside of the bell curve.
Is that because people are dying off so they don't count anymore?
I don't know. I just had heard that maybe it was in Korea or maybe it was in
China
Japan
has
or
gone
China,
down.
but they're going down.
No
so,
reported cases in China.
Oh, there isn't.
A couple days ago.
So it has its. I guess what it is it's kind of like it's like an arc of a blockbuster movie. It like has this big thing at the box office, and then at some point it has its best weekend, and then it starts going down the other side.
Good.
So hopefully.
You hope it doesn't become a cult classic.
That's right. That's a good point.
Come back 20 years later.
Rocky Horror Picture Show keeps showing everywhere.
Sure.
Yeah.
And finally, just because this is kind of funny, in Wuhan, China, the epicenter of the coronavirus, a student defeated an education app to get every student out of homework. So kids apparently were super stoked that the Chinese government suspended school until further notice. Then students got pissed when officials arranged for them to do remote classrooms, and a lot of people are sort of tinkering with that idea right now. They registered with an app called Ding Talk. And teachers Ding Talk. Teachers gave online lessons via this app for homework, but bots created by this one teenage programmer spammed the app so bad with an avalanche of 1-star reviews that the Apple Store basically stopped carrying it. Like when you have that many 1-star reviews,
if your app gets bad enough review, they'll take you off.
So it went from a 4.9 to a 1.4, and the app got shut down. That kid gets an A.
Yeah. And it's the catch-22 of having that kind of scholastic work ethic is you have a bunch of diabolical super geniuses in your 9th grade, right? My kid could never pull that off. No. On the other hand, he wouldn't have done the homework anyway, so he's still in the same place.
Yeah.
Bad news and bad news, teachers.
Right.
He's not going to defeat the system. He's also not going to write anything down. If I was teaching the remote thing, I'd just be up there going like, all right, let's turn to the dry erase board now, as you can see, and, beginning calculus, and I'd go, you're looking good. And then I'd go back to the
thing
and I'd just freak everyone out.
Nice blue sweater.
Put that down.
Somebody's got to be wearing one.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. You didn't prepare, so you just fucking kick out your modem. Sorry, kids. Lost you.
Right.
That's right.
Speaking of Jolene, Dolly Parton has a goal of being the oldest Playboy model. The 74-year-old singer told the Australian version of 60 Minutes that she's down for it. Do you have the clip? Here we go.
Sure.
What's the retirement age in America?
Well, I don't plan to retire. I just turned 74. And I plan to be on the cover of Playboy magazine again. See, I did Playboy magazine years ago. I thought it would be such a hoot if they'll go for it. I don't know if they will.
So Parton said she could
Considering they're out of business, I bet they'd go for it.
Do you think if you beat off to that, dust would come out of your penis?
Oh, that's a good point.
You know?
Yeah, you might go full LeBron before the game.
Oh, right.
Poof.
The talc.
Poof, right at the scoring table. LeBron, let's change up that ritual just a little bit. Let me help you modify that. I represent Chance. So we have a chain of a strip club for the discriminating gentleman. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, I think just powder would come out. But it'd be good if you had to make your escape. I had a weird. Tell me this, Fitz. I feel like you and I are uniquely qualified to discuss this subject. When I was growing up and I had my teenage buddies, it was all stories about being caught beating off. You know, like you don't want your stepmom. Where's she? Is she at home? You know, shut the door. But if you lock the door, she'll know something's going on. And why would you do homework with the door locked? You know what I mean? I'll do it in the shower. And every lad or adult male has some story about the time they got caught when they're 15 with the magazine and the whatever. Okay. That's understood. I mean, that's a rite of passage. We never discussed having children and the potential of them catching us as adults.
Yeah. No.
The fact that you can get busted twice, once when you were 14 and now when
by
you're
your
54.
14-year-old.
This is a two-way street now that I never grew up thinking, I'm going to catch my dad beating off. My dad didn't have any nothing in the spank bank. I had no rags anywhere. And also, it never crossed my mind. Yeah. We're living in a new world order, people. There's no... First off, I didn't know, my friends' dads were beating off when they're 50-something years old.
Yeah.
I feel like Tom Brady. I feel like I'm in my renaissance. You know what I mean? Like I got a lot of years left in me. I feel like Dolly Parton does with posing for Playboy, and the very real chance of somebody under my roof. I'm supposed to bust in and catch my son, not the. Yeah, that's not the other way around.
No, our fathers they fucking redid the basement or the garage, and you didn't see them after dinner.
Yeah,
they were back there fixing the lawnmower night after night. Fixing the lawnmower.
The damn lawnmower.
What is the... all right, so is it internet porn or like what's going on? Because I'd never heard of anyone catching their dad when I was young. There's a very distinct possibility one of my dad friends... think about all our 50-year-old buddies who are definitely slinging away in the behind the computer or wherever they are.
Well, I think what'll happen is like you'll get Brit Humed. You heard about the Brit Hume thing, right? You didn't hear about this?
No. Do tell.
No.
Oh, God. Brit Hume, the announcer from Fox News, he took a screen grab of a story that he wanted to show about Trump. Oh. So he put it up on the screen, but he didn't see that the tabs for his other open windows were on the top. And one of them said, Sexy Vinyl Vixens.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the press had a field day on that guy. I mean, the guy, for 50 years, he's been making a name for himself as this kind of staunchy, straight, sexy Vixen Vinyl. And now that will be his legacy.
I have a repressed memory about that. Not about this, but similar to that. So I'm visiting...
Hold on, he's beating off to coronavirus as well?
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Well, that's what that
was a tag.
said to me.
People can browse the internet without beating off. They can look for information.
Oh, get the fuck. I'm not a computer expert. There's one thing I know is nobody browses the internet.
Speaking of which, I was visiting an out-of-town girlfriend many years ago. This is 15 years ago. And was at her place for the weekend in Arizona and was printing out I shouldn't have said that. I was at her place in some other state.
Yeah.
Dawson, cut that out. And I went to print out my boarding pass 15 years ago. No more mobile boarding passes, right?
I pre-laugh at all these stories because I love it. It's always
good. So I type in U for U.S. Airways back when that was still in business. U, and up comes all the underage teenage sluts, and then just the worst filthy porn ever. Because, it autocorrects the sites you've been to.
Yeah.
It wasn't a suggestion on Google. It was the sites he'd been to. I was in the address bar.
When I was
Very upsetting.
I could listen to these stories.
When I was a rookie spanker, let's go back to, I'm 14, I guess. Is that when it starts?
I started a little even later, but some guys started 13, 14.
So I was about 14, and my parents were so fucking cheap. I had this old bed they bought used, and it had those the metal box spring.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had that.
Yeah, it's like the prison cot kind of thing.
Yeah. And so I would get on it at night, and I grab a sweat sock, put it on.
Sure.
You know where I put it on, Gina.
Yeah, I know.
And then I would very, very gently, and I had no porn magazines. I would freestyle.
Yeah.
I would work off Jill Garfunkel from sixth period, field hockey practice, snapshot, screen grab, got it. So now I'm laying in bed. I'm working one off into my sweat sock, night after night, but barely moving. Feet at the bottom of the bed, holding on to the railing.
Clinched.
So it doesn't squeak. And I'm doing everything. I got my back arched, just barely moving. I'm it's like watching a sea turtle fuck. And then I would finish, and I throw it in the hamper, and mission accomplished night after night. I come home from school one day. I sit on my bed. There's no squeak. I'm like, what the fuck? I look up, there's 3-in-1 oil on my dresser. My mom had been listening night after night and finally took matters in her own hands.
Oh, yeah.
And oiled my goddamn bed. Yeah. And then I really started letting loose.
Yeah. Then you had impunity.
I could do like a one-on-one, sort of like the great James Lipton's gone, but he goes like, what is your favorite swear word? To just beat off stories.
Right.
Give them to me. Let's hear them.
Right.
I like the old school ones. I like the I also like the fact that all the guys I know, the older guys, they're good enough to find their way to the website, but they're not good enough technologically to cover their tracks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I remember And I do it. I'd find myself to the website, but I had no idea how to get back or what I left behind or how many breadcrumbs I'd left, from Grandma's house. And I remember one time I was doing like a photo shoot or something at my house, and I had a bunch of Lynette and the kids, and everyone was dressed up, and I had a bunch of photography assistants and people of that nature, and helpers and lighters and stuff, and everyone's sort of standing around, and it's this eccentric kind of like French photographer. And I said to him, he said, "Oh, you like cars?" And I was like, "Yeah, I like cars." And I was, I just did a shot of Jay Leno's car. It's on the internet. And I was like, "Oh, okay." And he goes, he's just one of these guys. He goes, where's my phone? Oh, hey, is that your computer? And he grabs my computer and he opens it up. And he's like, I'm going to hold on to that. And he's like, everybody, let me show you. I'm like, I'm like, throw it in the pool. I had no idea what was on the computer. Right. He's like, come on, gather around.
Children.
And the kids and the hot chick who's doing the makeup and stuff, and everyone's in a half circle around the computer, and he's like, let's see if I can find this here. I'm like, don't touch it! I went to slam it, dump my coffee on it or something.
It's like opening your brain up and they can see your old thoughts.
Nothing came up, but that moment where he grabbed it and opened it and told everyone to gather around was like me just like I wanted to leave or I wanted to grab it from him. I knew I couldn't protest too much. I got to go, knock yourself out.
When I was a teenager, I don't know if I ever told you this story. I used to go to a high school that was about 20 minutes away from my school. I had some problems in public school.
School bus beat story?
Yeah.
I'll hear it again.
Have I told you the story?
No, you just seem like the kind of guy who would beat off on a school bus.
Back row, coming home. And it was 20 minutes away, and I went to this school. I was the only guy. The rest all went to this Catholic school that was near it. Mm-hmm. So it was me on a long yellow bus filled with 3 in a row, fucking high school chicks dressed like a Van Halen video.
Yeah.
And I would sit in the back row on the way home because it wasn't as crowded because a lot of them had field hockey practice.
Look at Gina, pre-disgusted.
This is grounds for arrest in 2020.
I try to tell people all the time, you have no idea what lurks in a 15-year-old boy's mind.
No.
No idea.
And if
what has taken over that, what takes you over.
Yeah. And
Sorry.
I would sit in that back. First of all, it's got the high back seats. Remember the high back seats?
Right, sure.
So I had good subterfuge.
Yeah, good coverage.
And so I'm back there, and a couple of them would, weren't disciplined enough, and they'd let their thigh in the aisle. Mm-hmm. They'd and the sunshine would be streaming through, and it'd catch those blonde hairs.
That's
on
them.
Thigh.
That's on them.
That's on them.
Yeah.
You're showcasing.
What are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
No, it's like
Homework?
presenting in nature.
Right.
Yeah, like a baboon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I would bring napkins from the cafeteria. I planned the whole day. Premeditated. Be in the back row. And I'd work one out of the napkin, and then there was, I tore the green vinyl that the seats were made of. I made a tear, and I used to take the napkins and I'd stuff them into the hole of the seat. Yeah. And that seat, if you wanted the safest seat on the bus, that back seat had a lot of padding in front of it.
I'll finish the story. And then one Monday, a new bus showed up. When Greg inquired, what happened to the old bus? It's pregnant. It's not coming in any longer. It's on leave.
We've sent it away.
It'll be back in 10 or 11 months.
We don't know who the father is.
Yeah. All right.
The bus will continue after it gives birth.
And you never got cut.
No, Kenny was the bus driver, and me and Kenny I sit in the front row and we talk about old Mustangs. He used to fix old Mustangs, and he would tell everything I know about muscle cars I learned from Kenny. And so I would sit in the mornings, I would sit in the front and we'd talk cars, and then in the afternoon I'd sit in the back, and he had, remember those rear view mirrors on those buses?
Oh, the giant ones.
They were like the size of a pool table.
Yep.
Hey, Greggy, come on, sit up front.
You want to
He
stare?
knows what time it is.
And I just saw Black Kenny looking just out of that mirror. I saw him. He knew what was going on.
Right.
Wow.
And he was good with it. He was like, shit, if I could sit back there too. But I think it's a felony. I think it's fine when you do it. Felony when I do it.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you get a slap on the hand, and they throw away the keys with him.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, Gina. What else we got?
Oh, yes, please.
What were we talking about?
Who knows?
Weren't we doing the news?
Dolly Parton was 32
right.
when she first graced the
more Dolly Parton news.
cover of Playboy, and she'd like to go again. She said she still fits into her outfit, the Playboy outfit. And she said that she credits all of her youth to good lighting, good makeup, and good doctors. Joey Chestnut, and by the way, that was all by memory. Did you appreciate that? That story is over here.
Yeah.
Oh, I did. Yeah,
It's Dolly news, so I know it.
I like that she has a sense of humor about herself.
She is the sense of humor about herself. She's the butt of the joke. She makes the joke.
Joey Chestnut, hot dog eating.
He
champion.
is the world record holder when it comes to eating hot dogs. Now he's going for burgers. The legendary competitive eater ate 32 Big Macs in 38 minutes, breaking the old record by 2 sandwiches. Chestnut said he was having a cheat day when he decided to do something special. He ordered this huge epic meal. He estimated that it'd be the equivalent of 15 pounds, 18,000 calories. He chowed down on 74 hot dogs at the 2018 Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. And here's just sort of a time lapse of him just going to town on these burgers.
It doesn't seem safe.
Damn.
Yeah.
Play the strip club music, Brian.
Can do.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Sharp. We got a celebrity in the crowd. It's Joey Chestnut, everybody. Joey Chestnut just demolished 27 quarter-pounders and washed it down with a pint of MCT oil, so he's going to be on stage 4 right now. Hey, Schulte, pull up a chair.
Swinging on the lawn.
Don't forget, guys, if you're looking for Sharks, Route 1 South, look for that soft serve ice cream logo on top of the roof. That's us. Chocolate every Wednesday.
Yeah, he's not even as big as he used to be.
No.
It's funny when, and I know they say this all the time, but when Joey Chestnut was coming in second to Kobayashi, he was a big dude. Now he's slimmed down, like he's taking his sport more seriously, but it's an eating sport, but it's crazy.
That's
all
right.
Sorry.
An argument over a parking spot at a mall in Atlanta turned
Hey,
violent.
can I say this about the eating competitions? Yeah. I am, I've said, like, you look at the NBA. The NBA used to have the All-Star game, and then they had the All-Star game and the dunk competition, and then they had the three-point competition, and then they had the sort of golden ball worth 5 points when the 3-point competition. They keep kind of reinventing themselves to add more excitement or interest to it, right? And it's kind of fun when the guy pulls up and he's got the green ball, the whatever, the
money ball.
Yeah, the money ball, but it's probably like sponsored by Monster Energy drink or something.
I thought it was multicolored, but whatever. It's the other colored ball.
They pulled a sponsorship out of they pulled like one. Well, of course, like how could they not have Sunny D sponsor that ball or whatever it was? But anyway, the eating competitions are guys sitting on a folding chair dunking shit in a cup of water and ramming it in their gullet. You know what I mean? Don't we need like burger eating? Fine. But you have to be driving a car.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I need that thing where you drive. We time you at the beginning of the drive-thru. You got to get in. You got to get everything loaded into the car. You put it on the passenger seat. Then you have to operate the vehicle while, you know what I mean? Like, and then we have the chili. We have the chili burger every fifth
sloppy
one. That's the money ball. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
and you're you have to be on the phone reporting which burger you're on. So you got that cradle between your chin and your shoulder.
Right. Yeah. And then we have your kids are in the back. They're not your kids, but the professional actor kids, and they're yelling about fries. Did you get the fries?
Yeah.
You got the fries.
Yeah.
And they're you have to like deal with them and try to get them the fries in between shoving in your next Big Mac. So what is the ball in the last 3-point shoot around? Was it a sponsored ball?
Yeah, I think it was like a Mountain Dew ball, right?
Yeah.
It's funny. I didn't see this last year, so I didn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Hey, can I also say no more jumping over dudes for the dunk competition. I just want to dunk. Do the dunk. It's because they're all now jumping over people.
Your time has passed. It's all narrative now and stories. You got to have a buddy helping you, either bouncing you the ball or throwing you the ball or jumping over him.
Started with Blake Griffin, I think.
Yeah, he jumped over a Hyundai.
Yeah.
He jumped over a car. But when I'm saying do zone shot, 6 feet behind the arc. It's behind the 3-point. But my point is this. I like it to simulate what could happen. Like when they do the home run derby, there's a guy pitching.
Right.
It's not a pitcher per se, but they're simulating you being at bat. You're not wearing a batting helmet, but there's not a third guy out there running around. You know what I'm saying? It's simulate the game.
The real game.
Do what
How we
you
all
can.
do it.
Be wildly creative, but stop jumping over dudes.
Yeah, that's
all right,
good.
Sorry.
So there was this crazy parking lot shooting in Atlanta. It turned really violent on Sunday. Police say 2 groups of people in separate cars got into a fight over a parking spot outside the Lenox Mall. Situation began to settle down. They all went into the mall, but later things escalated again when they all returned to the parking lot and someone was shot in the head.
Definitely not a Jew.
Right?
How does the parking space thing carry over past
that
the movie,
experience,
past you seeing, I don't know, Black Panther or something like that. I don't know what movie was playing, but the point is
Moonlight.
How does it get? I feel like it's hot. It burns hot. The parking lot, the stuff,
In the moment.
and then at some point you're in the movie or in the freezer section of the Costco, and it's kind of didn't happen.
Right. Yeah.
It's weird to go out and relive it,
Seek revenge.
Well, it's because it was the handicap spot. That's what they don't tell you in the story.
Oh, that's right. You're very good.
Yeah. But, here's the thing is I never fight over a parking spot because say you win. Okay, you win. You get the spot. The whole time you're shopping, you're thinking, are they slashing my tires? Is there sugar in my gas tank?
That happened to me. That happened to us when I was super sick, about 2009. Yeah, 2009, we were parking for something. Christy was driving, of course. She parked right at the exact same time someone came up to a spot. It was a parallel parking spot. They were behind. We were in front. We parallel parked, and they were like, what the fuck? It was a bunch of young assholes. Well, maybe we were the assholes. A bunch of young kids. And they're like, what the fuck, man? We're like, well, we saw the spot at the same time as you, and we just got the spot. And sorry, my husband is, obviously compromised, so we had to park close to the... Anyway, came back... Big footprint and a dent in her bumper.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, with like a footprint and a dent, in her back bumper.
They knew. I mean, she explained that you were handicapped or that you were.
I was on a walker. They couldn't have not known. I mean,
I didn't know how fast you got out of the car or what they.
Well, she was helping me out with the walker.
I know, but sometimes you have these scrapes and the people drive away before you get out of the car.
They lingered. They lingered.
Oh, they lingered.
And yelled. Yeah, they're like, what the fuck? And it's like, well,
and they saw you with the walker.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a new level.
It's good times.
You got to slap their parents.
This was in Hollywood. I remember exactly where it was. It was the Roosevelt Hotel. I remember exactly where it was.
You got to pull out the phone and just start snapping photos. I had I had a road rage incident one time. It was me, and this person had cut me off, and then I cut them off, and I got in front of them, and then the guy, and then I got out of my car to go back and confront him at a light. And then he pulled out his phone. And this is when phones were just starting to take pictures. Mm-hmm. And he started snapping photos of me. And I just fucking froze. I was like, road rage isn't fun anymore. Yeah. He took all the fun out of it.
I could picture you and your wife out to dinner with another couple, and at some point you go, I want to share this crazy story that happened when I was on the road, and your wife's like, not the bus, not the bus story. Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, we know them really well. They'll get it.
Different story. Yeah, sorry.
Will you please recap the Mike August road rage story? It's one of my favorites.
I was driving.
No. Sorry, not that. You were on the phone with him.
Yeah, I understand.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you were going to say you were in the car with him.
No, I was driving.
Okay. Yep. Continue.
Thank you. I know the story. I was there. I was driving
for Adam History Month. They're gonna find that homeless guy
to this shop, and Mike was also driving on the freeway. And he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going into the shop." And I said, "Where are you going?" And he said, "I have to go and take a prenatal CPR class because his son was born prematurely, and when they were going to release the child to him to take home, obviously." The kid was a little bit compromised, and he had to have those skills. So you have to get certified in prenatal CPR before you can bring home your package. And I said, oh, that's nice. And then he said, yeah. Oh, and then he said, hold on. And he put the phone down. And then I heard him getting out of his car, and then I heard him get back in his car, and he picked up the phone, and he goes, so anyway, we have to meet at the doctor's office to get certified. And I said, wait a minute, you were getting off the freeway? And he's like, yeah. I was like, why did you stop your car and put the phone down and climb out of your car and then come back here on a ramp? And he's like, some asshole was just out there, and he was like, giving me the finger and he's slamming on the hood of my car. I don't know if he's homeless or whatever, so I just got out of the car and wrestled him down to the ground. So anyway, I'm back in the car.
Anyway, you were saying?
So where were we?
So awesome.
And I was like, is that guy homeless or is he a crazy? I don't know. He seemed fairly well dressed. I don't know what he was doing. He's obviously
put up a pretty good fight. I mean, he's in decent shape.
I threw him down to the ground.
Wrestled him to the ground.
Yeah.
He also had a guy hit and run him on the freeway, and he followed the guy all the way down the freeway, got off in Van Nuys somewhere, got up behind the guy, got out of the car, got that guy out of the car in a headlock, and held him until the cop showed up.
No
awesome.
shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. He's walking tall.
And you don't want to know what he's done for a backpack on the freeway.
Yeah, he's got a lot of adventures.
Freeway stories.
Damn.
He's unencumbered.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's a very visceral man.
When I first met my wife, we'd been dating for like maybe a month or two. We lived in New York, and I had this piece of shit Mazda 626, but those things fucking ran forever. Mm-hmm. So it was all, I never washed it, had all kinds of dents. I wanted it ugly because I didn't want anyone stealing it. So I'm on the New Jersey Turnpike. We're going to IKEA to get something, and this guy cuts me off, and I have issues, and I snapped. And so I pulled up next to the guy, and I'm screaming at him, and he gives me the finger. So I got just ahead of him, but still next to him, and then I slowly pushed him off the side of the highway onto the shoulder. That wasn't enough. Off the shoulder until dirt was kicking up, and his car turned in the dirt, and I just kept driving. And my wife was like, wow, that guy was an asshole. And I was like, I'm putting a ring on your finger.
Marry me.
I haven't told this story before. I do not believe, but when I was 16 and my buddy Ray was 17, he had an older brother, Rob, who was like 19, who was a super hothead, and he had a Toyota Celica or whatever, and he drove us to like Zuma Beach. We all went to the beach. And when we were leaving the beach on PCH, we got into it with somebody. Somebody cut him off. He cut somebody off. And it was two like-minded guys. 19-year-old Rob, who's a total hothead, and then some other 19-year-old. And by the way, I was a big dude and Ray was a big dude. So they both had kind of backup. And their car kind of had backup, too. Like sometimes if your wife's in the car, you're a little different than your backup bros, you know. And it was all the way down PCH, until Topanga Canyon. Like, it was darting in and out, going at each other, throwing drinks. Like, I was sort of horrified and delighted, but, Rob would swing out. It was like one of those movie scenes. They did one in, like, Fast and Furious on PCH, and they just, like, one of those things where you're, like, going out into oncoming traffic and sliding back in again and cutting the person off.
You're already in Blood Alley on PCH.
Yeah, I know. And then a young Bruce Jenner slid by in an Escalade and killed the guy. It was Bruce back then.
Oh, he killed the other guys.
Killed the other guy.
Oh, good. All right, there you go.
Served, yeah.
It went all the way down. We went from, it's about 13 miles of this, just all the way down PCH. Just traffic, no one would back off, and everyone was going to the same place. It's crazy. I know. I don't know what ended up happening is eventually we just got to Topanga, and like they turned up and we went straight, but it was the whole run.
Damn.
And this guy at 19, when you drive at 19, you just don't think you could be injured or an accident.
You have no frontal lobe. There's
Right.
nothing that thinks about consequences.
That's
you
right.
just go. When I was in, I was going to BU, and I was standing on the corner in Brookline, and this car comes around the corner, and I was walking in the crosswalk. I was 3 steps in. And this car comes around the corner. It was like that old kind of. It was either like a Grand Prix or a Monte Carlo. Those
Big
cars.
and American.
Yeah, 2 doors. They're each 18 feet long.
Right.
And it comes around the corner, and literally I have to take a half a step back.
Right.
You're going fast, and so I punch the back window.
Right.
Car stops. Wrong car.
Right.
Wrong car to hit. It was like, remember Good Will Hunting? It was like those guys. Mm-hmm. Just
Right.
Boston guys with thick accents, and they were huge, and they were Irish, and they were tattooed, and they got out. And they humiliated me in front of a fucking street full of people. One guy kicked me in the ass as hard as he could.
That's
I think I
humiliating.
left my feet.
Literally
I think I left
kicked your
my
ass.
feet.
Wow.
Kicked my ass, and I left the ground, and I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
It was the only
What could
time
you
I
do?
ever just went like, I'm just going to play possum. And I
Yeah.
just stood there, and they fucking berated me, and they kicked me. And it was my neighborhood. It's where I lived.
You know, it's funny. I was tempted to tell this story yesterday because we were talking about Rachel Dratch and how much she looks like Dan Dratch. One of my favorite Dan Dratch stories is like when he was a 16-year-old, probably in the Boston area. I think he grew up in that area. Anyway, he was like on the back of a moped and, had the townies in the car and like, fuck you. And at some point they just caught up to him, threw him off the moped and just beat the shit out of him just by the side of the road. I thought, yeah, Lexington, Mass. Yeah, don't fuck with people when you're on a moped. Like when you top out at 26 miles an hour and you're pedaling,
Mind your
don't
P's and
fuck with the
Q's.
guys with the V8. I would say that would be my argument.
I would
Good
also say
lesson.
Boston is probably the last place you want to fuck with people.
Right. And a lot of road. There's a lot of just
of
rage.
rage.
It's rage, and then they
Yeah.
take it to the streets like
Yeah.
the Doobie Brothers. All right, what else we got, Gina Gray?
All right, Arnold Schwarzenegger has played a robot in movies, but that doesn't mean he has signed off on being one.
It's a cyborg.
Thank you. Russian company PromoBot has created an Arnold android. The problem is they didn't get his permission to use his voice and his
boy.
likeness. So according to the suit, Arnold doesn't like his face being used for ads because it's such activity diminishes his hard-earned and well-deserved reputation as a major motion picture star, end quote. And I think we have some video of that. PromoBot has been using the Arnold bot for promotions at public events. Now Arnold wants at least $10 million for the use of his likeness. And it's a little bit terrifying.
To be fair, as I learned from TMZ, he gave a cease and desist, and they didn't pay attention to it.
No?
So now
getting
he's suing.
sued.
And my feeling is I don't like everyone suing each other, but if you tell somebody, hey, knock it off,
Quit it.
or I'm going to sue, and they keep rolling. Why is he wearing Elizabeth Warren's glasses is really my question.
She's not known for wearing glasses.
Yeah.
He must... Did they put glasses on it so they could cover it?
Maybe they said, hey, that's not Arnold. Does Arnold wear glasses?
I don't know where the glasses come from.
He looks kind of sexy. I could see if I was a housekeeper.
In the back of that bus. Oh, a housekeeper.
Yeah, I
that's
would
right.
be totally turned on
into
by
this
that.
guy.
Yeah, that's what I love, that housekeeper. I do love a guy with a motor. You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey,
maybe I can hook the vacuum cleaner up to that guy.
yeah. I mean, whatever happened to his house? His son from that affair is all grown up, right?
Imagine so.
Yeah, he's like graduated college and stuff. And it's weird that there's only one picture of the housekeeper that Arnold was banging, and it was from Halloween where she was dressed as a pirate, which is weird that that's the only picture they have
That's
of
what
her.
you can
There's just
find.
only one picture of her, and she's in a pirate outfit, which makes it more comical.
And sexy.
Also, could we do this to, we're taking pictures, everyone. I think about when they did like Super Tuesday last week or whenever it was. The only picture we have of politicians are them smiling with a big thumbs
That's
up,
right.
and they go, Amy Klobuchar coming in at 2%. She's like, ha, ha, ha. And it's like, no, you're getting, you're being crushed.
Thumbs down.
Joe Biden's at 41 and you're at, Tulsi Gabbard, and everyone's doing that big politician smile. And I was like, could we go ahead, like when you do voiceover work, give us 3 options.
That's right.
Give us it, I'm at the top of the tote board option, which is the one we have.
Right.
Then give us a sort of fair to mid, and like he's polling, he's at 18%.
Give us a
little
shrug
bit-
of what are you going to
Give us
do?
the, what are you going to
We'll
do?
call this one viable.
Yeah, give us the eye roll at the bottom of what are you going to do, or even pointing at where the graphic would be and looking disappointed.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's not have everyone's all smiles. So they put the whole bank up, and everyone looks like they're having the best day of their life, but only 2 of them are having a good
That's
day, and
right.
the other 7 are having the worst day of their life.
That's right.
You also want the one with them in blackface on file.
Just to have it.
Just to have it.
You never know.
Yep.
Yep.
I love that. Who is the politician? I can't remember his name, but he's like, look, I don't know. I may not have been the guy in blackface. I may have been the Klansman. So
To be fair
let's
to
not
him.
rush
That's
to
right.
let's not
That's
rush to
right.
judgment. It's like Now, your premise would be awesome if there was a third person in the picture. And
a dinosaur.
And that woman, that was Mother Teresa, where you can go, I think I was Mother Teresa, but there's only a Klansman and there's only a black person.
That's right.
So you're one of them.
And what is Gandhi that year? I'm pretty sure.
Ralph Northam.
It's a great thing because he's like, I'm pretty sure it was the Klansman.
Yeah. But who's to say he didn't have blackface on under the hood?
Oh, that's a good point.
You know?
The big reveal.
Also, this is why you have to go as a tampon every once in a while, because if you're ever accused, it's like when they boo a guy named Lou, you know? You can always go, I think they're calling my name.
Boo Earns.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway. Wait, what was I asking Max Padda?
His name's Ralph Northam.
Oh, okay. What were we talking about before that? The Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, Schwarzenegger.
Oh, his girlfriend's in a pirate.
Yeah,
Pictures.
Whoa.
She's
sexy
great.
Pirate.
She's holding the Zima.
Yeah.
She's got high boots on.
Yeah.
Probably knows what a scupper is. But that's the only picture that we have of hers as a pirate.
How do you tell her to go wash the dishes?
I don't...
Throw a hot mop in the kitchen.
Yeah, especially after you've been taking advantage of her upstairs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who was in possession of this picture? The Schwarzenegger estate, or did she submit that one because she thought she was looking cute?
There was another picture early on when the story broke that I'm aware of where she looked horrific.
Like
I think the nanny camp may have put this one out.
That's what I'm saying. Like who's in charge of that one?
The nanny camp.
Oh, the nanny camp. Oh, I heard of the nanny state.
I know.
We have the camp now, too. Wow.
Find the other one, where she looks horrific.
Oh, okay. So this is the second one. Well, this is the one they
that's
ran.
That's the counter.
Yeah, that's the whole line. If you guys are going to be running stories about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it also, lesson to Maria Shriver, which is we all understand that you can't hire Tiger Woods' ex-wife, who was a nanny, as your nanny in your house. So
Elin?
Elin. She's the best-looking 22-year-old blonde, on the planet, and then she can't come into the governor's house, because how's that going to work when Maria goes to the East Coast on business or whatever? But Maria's like, I'm just going to get some squatty chick who's in her 40s, and that way... he has an appetite, a prodigious sexual appetite, but I'll get some squatty chick who's past her prime, and then no way he's going to tell. Oh, he's having a kid with her.
Right. Yeah.
He's not just getting a blowjob in the pantry. He's siring.
Right.
That's when dudes do it, they do it. Women, whether it's beating off in the back of a municipal school bus or impregnating the help. We are capable of, or getting out of the car and fighting a homeless person on your way to a CPR class. We are capable of almost anything.
Yeah.
And you women, you don't know that about us.
Yeah.
You should know.
Because it defies logic.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see if we can find, or Brian will find that.
My mother used to do that. My mother was she would
less
Look
flattering.
at the one I sent you.
Less flattering.
That there are a bunch of pictures on the thing that you sent me.
Oh, Brian, you've entered my zone, my super unsatisfying zone, where you're fine. Whatever's in your head is not Max Pad's.
It's not in my head, in front of my face. It's in front of my eyes.
Well, there you go.
That's the one that was making the rounds when the story first broke.
Right.
We have screenshots from CNN and CBS.
Right.
Stuff.
Now, the reason
that's not a flattering picture.
This illustrates Brian's point because she really looks scary in this picture.
Compare that to the pirate. The pirates.
Compare it to that.
Couple years before.
Compare it to the one Max Padda just brought up. This is a woo. All right. So we go pirate. So that's Big Nanny.
Big Nanny. Big Nanny's behind that.
She's looking very rough in this picture.
I think Arnold put out the pirate picture just so people would think a little better of him.
The pirate picture says, have a six-pack and then welcome aboard. This last one is, we're scuttling this vessel. That's basically the maritime comparison of what we're talking about. Scuppers be damned. Sorry, Gina, one more.
Sure. So forget the look of the house you're renting on Airbnb. Most people are concerned with the looks of the owner of the house. A new study found that renters are very influenced by the photos of the house. The photos of the host when choosing a place to stay. Researchers found that potential renters viewed an attractive host as more trustworthy.
How often does a host put a picture in the...
All the time.
Really?
Because I felt very connected to this story. They also saw women as more trustworthy than men, age a factor as well. Seems the older host is, the more trustworthy they seem to renters. And if you want to rent your place on Airbnb, you should definitely be smiling in your photo. When the host is smiling in the picture, the study participants viewed them as more attractive and more trustworthy. And I've done a billion Airbnb houses. I've done them everywhere. And I absolutely look at the host. And it's not if they're young or attractive. If they look crazy
or they have
crazy
picture?
hair, I think something's going to go
no.
sideways when I get there.
I want the gayest human being ever created. I want a guy whose
that, John?
feet don't touch the ground.
Yes.
He's
I
wearing
agree.
a tight
So
eyes
light
on.
as
He works
loafers.
out.
Right.
He cares about the property.
Yep.
He wants a good experience for you.
He'll tell you a good place to get a mocha cappuccino
That's right.
in the neighborhood.
And anytime I've gone against my instincts and gone to the crazy woman's house, I had a crazy woman experience.
Yeah.
Oh, we rented a place. Yeah, I'm a little different than Fitzdog. I want one that looks like Rip Torn's mugshot. That's the guy I'm looking for. Now, that says security.
Yeah.
That says
Anything goes.
he had one of the best all-time mugshots.
Yeah.
And will be missed. We did an Airbnb. We did 2 Airbnbs in England when I went to do a race, and one of them was a lady who was a crazy lady, and we couldn't tell she was crazy, but she included her kids in a lot of the pictures, like kids pictures, her and the kids, and we were just all sort of thinking, like, why would you include pictures of your kids in the shot? We want to get a shot of the den or the room or the whatever. We don't really want your kids.
Great.
And it's also kind of weird that you're putting your kids up on the whatever. And sure enough, when we got there, she's like giving us all this, the keys are here and kick your shoes off there and blah, blah, blah. And then at some point she goes, and, my office is in the house, so I hope it's fine if I just use my office. And I'm
Under no circumstances.
So you want to rent us the house? Yeah, but I'll be using, I got business, in my office. And I'm like, no, you have to just leave us the house and then we'll give you the keys back in 4 days. Like, oh yeah, but with I want to use my office. She's like, her plan was to rent us the house and then she still lives at the house with us.
Mighty good trade for her.
Right. It was funny because she was an attractive blonde. This is sort of the thought of an attractive. She was aging out.
Yeah.
She was a little more headshot and a little less pirate in her butt. And I want you in a pirate outfit when you take that picture of yourself because I'm more apt to. But it was funny. She had that. I used to get away with this kind of shit when I was 31 because it got like, hot blonde. Like you want to hang out and have a few beers with us after the race,
Yeah.
But she'd kind of aged out of that, but she was still into it.
Mentality.
But yeah, we'd figured she was a little nutty from all the pictures of her kids, and sure enough,
makes a difference.
A little bit nutty.
Yeah.
All right,
I rented a place in New York. There it is.
Aww.
And it was a woman. It was a small studio, but she had like 3 walls of vinyl records. I was like so fucking excited. A turntable and records. And over the month and a half I stayed there because I was working on a show, I went through every record. Not a single black artist.
Oh.
I'm talking 1,000 records. That's numerically impossible.
Listen, I'm racist, and even I would not put together that kind. I'd have to have some salmon.
That's egregious.
Yeah, even one of the good ones like Smokey.
Oh, Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, like an Otis Redding.
Later stuff.
Before I went to the dreads.
Stuff. I just call it Say I Love You.
Right.
Yeah. What's his name? The dancing on the ceiling guy.
Lionel Richie.
Yeah,
Lionel
he's perfectly
Richie,
unthreatening.
Sam Cooke.
These are good ones.
Yeah.
But no, man.
Not a one.
Interesting.
Isn't that weird?
Especially if somehow it's just all country genre.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think there was like Charlie Price or something, a couple brothers.
Charlie Pride.
From back in the day. But if you're getting into any kind of rock or R&B or anything like that, you got to have some brothers in there.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You can always go with Peebo.
Peebo Bryson.
That's right. Mm-hmm. He's technically black. I didn't know if you knew that.
I got the Peebo. I did the Peebo, man. I could never figure out. It was Peebo Bryson, and then there was this other teen, black couple that sung that had a name that sounded like it couldn't tell if it was one person or three people or. God damn it! It wasn't like Shaka Khan or something. It wasn't like Rufus and Shaka Khan, but it was it was like two names. The guy had a bunch of hits. The chick may have had hits without him. They were like a married couple.
Peaches and Herb
from the 80s. No, but that's a good. That's a good offering. It's a good pull. Let's see. I don't know. Google in black R&B couples from the 70s or 80s.
Peebo did have a very famous duet, didn't he?
Maybe that was
Didn't
it.
he do a very famous duet?
Peebo Bryson. All right, let me hit. Did you bring it home, Gina Grad?
Bring it home. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Yeah.
We hate Fitz, dog.
That was the news with Gina Grad.